In the previous video, we talked about why you have to attack to develop your game. Now, this video is not for all recreational players. This video is mostly for juniors and parents of junior players. Why do coaches want you to be aggressive and attack all the time? Let's talk about that. Okay, it's a long question. Okay, I'm gonna like this one. Risk versus safe. Now, we want to talk about what is risky and what is safe. Now, what is risky? In tennis, being risky not only means when you're trying to go for shots and being aggressive and taking a chance, it also means that risking to lose the point. So that's also the definition of it. It's not just for the shot, but the aspect is when you risk a point, losing a point, not just missing the shot. Being safe, you are hitting a shot inside where you need to hit the ball when it's in and not out. That's also being safe, but also safe means higher percentage of winning the point. So why do junior players have to be aggressive, and why do coaches make you attack all the time? This is one of the questions that I really had for very long, and nobody was able to answer it until I became an experienced coach. They never really pinpointed it out of why you need to keep being aggressive. So now that you know the definition of risk and safe in tennis, it's not just about hitting hard, but what happens? Let's say you're on the tennis court, and when you're first starting out as a junior or recreational player, you get pulled outside of the court and the player is here, okay? The opponent is here, and you are here, pulled out all the way, okay? Now, the safest play when you're actually starting out is, what do most coaches say? They always say, be safe, hit high over the net because you lost your balance, okay? And if you hit high over the net, not only do you have time to come back to the middle, but there's the chance that he might not attack it because you hit deep into and high, they're not gonna be able to attack. So that's a safe shot. And at that level, risk is when you try to blast the winner this way, or hit as hard as you can anywhere on the court. That is very risky because not only are you not good at that shot, there's more chance that you're gonna miss that shot, losing that point. So most coaches will ask you to hit high over the net, safe, doesn't need to have topspin or anything, just loop it. That is very safe, and you have a higher chance of winning that point because you can recover also. So that's why. Now, at a higher level, this play is more riskier. Why is that? Because this person here, your opponent, could take that ball in the air, probably hit a swing volley, or if it's high enough, they can hit an overhead. Most high-level junior players and pro tennis players usually don't miss overheads. If you're missing overheads, you're not a high-level player. I guarantee you that. Your overhead has to have almost 99.9% of chance of making it and almost winning that point. So if you're not winning points like that, you're probably not a high-level player. Okay, so that's why that is a riskier player at a higher level. So that's why when you're pulled out wide, you need to take more chances. You could hit it big here too. Now, it depends on where you are in the situation, but you need to be aggressive and counterattack in order for you not to get attacked. So you can't use the same strategy against a high-level player. And so this becomes risky for the higher-level player. That's why you have to be aggressive on most of your shots because playing it safe is actually more riskier, and there's a higher chance of you losing the point than when you actually attack. That's why, as a tennis player, you're evolving your shots, you're evolving your strategies, and you keep developing your game. And the thing is, when you're an aspiring tennis player trying to become a tennis pro, the strategy that you're going to implement is going to be very different than when you first start out. That's the first thing. Okay. So, I like doing this one. I think so that was number one, risk versus safe. Strategy changes when you get to a higher level. That's why you have to keep developing your shots, hitting more powerful shots to implement different strategies. The concept of hitting big and attacking, you're hitting big as in like speed and spin, like power. Like I really love the idea of this. Let's say, okay, this is your baseline. Let's say your hardest shot right now is your hardest shot you could hit is 40 miles per hour. Okay, so basically when you're developing as a junior player, 40 miles per hour is pretty fast to you, and it's very, very risky because you're going all out and there's no, margin for error. Like you're just going all out, hitting super big. Obviously you're not going to play matches like that, but you have to play super big. When you're playing at 40 miles per hour and you keep pushing your limits to 45, okay, 60, 80, 90, okay? So you keep doing that, okay? Okay? Now your 100% is 90 miles per hour. Now what happens is you're not gonna play at 90 miles per hour every time you play, especially even if you're at a higher level. What is 50% of 40? It's 20 miles per hour. So when my level gets higher and I'm able to hit 60 miles per hour as my fastest shot, okay? And I go 50% of 60%. 50% of 60 miles per hour is 30 miles per hour. Who's hitting bigger shots? You or me? I'm hitting bigger shots even if I go 50% and you're going 50%, you're still below me. Why is this important? Because when I get to 80 and I go 40 miles per hour and you, let's say 90. Let's say 90 and I'm at 45 miles per hour. And even if you play at your hardest level, hit it as big as you can, you're still not even at 50%. This is why you have to keep developing, hitting it big, because you're gonna play around 70 to 80% of your power when you're actually playing a match, because you have to be consistent, right? So when you're playing at a consistent level, let's say you're playing at 70 miles per hour, that 70 miles per hour, your 80% has to be, okay, better than this guy who's hitting it as hard as he can and he could only hit 60 miles per hour. So when you go 80% and he's going 100%, going by the strategy that I told you before, who's going to be more consistent? You are. You are going to be more consistent because you're only playing at 80%. Are you only going to play at 80%? No, you could change the pace. You could go at 90 at one point and still make it. And this guy's going to panic because he can't go higher than that. One time I was explaining this to a junior player, and most junior players, even now, love Dragon Ball Z. So Goku and Gohan was training inside this place where like one day is like a year for them, and they're training inside that room. And Goku finds out like staying at a state of Super Saiyan and making it natural was more efficient than just going back to Super Saiyan and going back to regular mode. So, so basically what he was trying to do was he was trying to be very efficient And he didn't have to go back and forth to 0 to 80 or 100%, 0 to 100%. So he was saving the energy of going back and forth. When I explain it to my players, like when you are used to being at 80 miles per hour, like hitting at 90 miles per hour, and 80 miles per hour is very normal for you, your 80% has to be better than the other person's 100%. That makes them have to hit riskier shots. It's an attack for them. For you, it's not. Like it's just like a regular hit for you, but they have to keep attacking, which means that they're gonna miss more. Maybe we should take that Super Saiyan out, but I could explain it better, but I don't know if it was right for this one.
I got what you were saying though, because like you said he went to this place to train, right? Yeah. So he was training to become Super Saiyan and stay Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, because your endurance level, like if you waste that much energy trying to become Super Saiyan, you're wasting that much energy. So his regular state had to be a Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah.
So he gets used to it. It's like having weights, like you wear like 30-pound more vest, and then you keep living your lifestyle, and then you take that vest off, and then you feel super light. Going back to, okay, your 80% has to be higher than other people's 100%. People ask me, like, when I was coaching Chung, like, people ask me, why is he so defensive? People who ask me in person, I ask them, have you hit with him before? Have you received his ball before? Do you know how heavy and fast his ball is, like regularly? And they're like, no. It is faster than when some other players are attacking. So that's what I was trying to say. You know, his 80% is faster than some of the 100% out there. He doesn't need to attack. Why would you attack if you don't need to? You're gonna win the match anyways. Let's say, we're different players, okay? Let's say Chung was playing whoever he was playing. Their fastest ball was 60 miles per hour, okay? And that is like their 100%. Or let's even say that's their 80%. Okay, so that's their 60 miles per hour is their 80%, okay? Maybe, 80 miles per hour is their fastest. Chung was hitting it a lot faster than you think. It was a lot heavier than, not just speed is not the only factor, but it was a lot heavier than what other players are hitting. He could play at whatever his 100% was, which was, ridiculously high actually. Let's say his regular defensive mode shot, just the natural shot he hits all the time, is 80 miles per hour. He doesn't need to attack. He's already attacking. His shots are a lot faster and a lot more penetrating than you think when he's just hitting his regular shots. So that's why it's very, very important to develop power in your game and be aggressive and keep pushing that wall to hit even bigger. Now, some coaches might disagree because there's different ways to develop players, but I have the experience of asking each of my students that did really well in the world, I asked them, what was the biggest difference, main factor from you to all the other players that made you #1 in that country, or top 5 in the nation, or top 5 in the world as a junior? All of them said power. All of them. Not one said strategy, my coach, endurance, no. All of them said power. So that's why it's very, very important to develop power as a junior and keep developing. And even if you're not the most consistent player, you're gonna end up consistent later on. Here's another example. Let's okay, these examples are actually great because I'm actually using pro players that people know.
Pro what?
Pro players' names that I have experience with.
Yeah.
Milos, sorry, I'm gonna say a couple things about you, but here's Raonic when he was playing futures. He used to suck. What I mean by that is he had the biggest serve on earth, and every time he hits the first shot, he would hit the fence. Like his forehand was so bad. Like he would hit the serve as big as he can, hit it in. The ball would just float back to him. The ball would just flow back to him, okay? And here's the fence, and here's the fence, here's Milos. And Milos, after that big first serve, he gets that second ball and he hits the freaking fence. He would do that every single time. He would hit it as hard as he can. His forehand, he would hit it hard as he can. And he just missed like completely like into the fence. And that's why he played like third set matches all the time. He was like 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. All his matches were ridiculously long, even with his fast serve, because he would hit the fence on his forehand all the time. We would like all laugh at him. Like when we watched him playing, like he would just keep doing that, hitting the fence on his forehead. We would laugh. But the thing is, let's say he was hitting at 110 miles per hour, like on his, realistically he's not, but I'm just saying, like let's say he was hitting at 110 miles per hour, hitting the fence, okay? Now what he found out was like, oh, I don't have to hit that big anymore. So he toned it down. When he toned it down, he was hitting like 80, which was very safe for him, but it was still very, very big for other people.
Yeah.
That is why you have to keep hitting big when you're developing. When you're at a future level, you're still developing. When he found it, that speed where he can be very, very consistent and aggressive at the same time, that's when he started doing well. That's what he developed. He developed power, you know, and he was very inconsistent. But I don't know who told him, or I don't know if he found out himself. He toned it down on his forehand, but it was still big enough to be an attack. So that's why he started doing it. So today I was talking about why coaches, junior level coaches, keep emphasizing playing aggressive and hitting big, hitting a lot of spin. I totally did what the coaches asked me to do, hit big all the time. But the thing is, I really didn't understand why I was doing it. Again, some coaches would work on consistency more. I personally like to do power when you're developing a junior, because you need the power to be at a certain level and you can tone it down a little bit. But if you're trying to be very, very consistent from the start, you get scared of trying to hit big. And when you do need to take a chance, you're so scared to hit big, or you're scared of missing actually. You're scared of missing that you can't hit big. You know, there's a couple reasons why you have to keep being aggressive. And I know the strategic aspect, winning more matches, you have to be consistent. But at a developing state, you do need to keep developing and keep missing with the power to get good with the power game when you get to a certain level, or when you get to a certain age. Now, when you're a recreational player, it doesn't always apply to you. And when coaches or commentators are always saying like, oh, he was so aggressive, he's an attacker, that doesn't apply to you. Just putting a lot of balls in will keep you winning more matches. Obviously, if you're a 5-0 and higher, you do have to have a big serve, you have to have, your average shots have to have a certain speed. But the thing is, a lot of times, consistency is key to winning and not power. Again, this is to develop your game and not to just, win at that state. I hope this video helped you understand a little bit more of why you have to hit big as a junior, and as a parent, why do, coaches keep asking you to hit big, or your kids big. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next video.